Today's the day I'm supposed to return home to our apartment in Chicago driving Horton, a 1964 GM PD 4106 bus I bought in Yakima, Washington. Instead, Horton is hanging out in Washington awaiting a clutch rebuild, and I'm in Chicago making this video. Our newly acquired 41-passenger bus headed out on our inaugural cruise toward Chicago on June 2nd, just one day late. But we only made it about 60 miles before turning around and heading back to Yakima. It's often said the most dangerous thing on a boat is a schedule. Maybe it applies to old buses, too. When we first set the June 1st date to depart Yakima, I didn't have any concerns about the schedule. But as the date loomed, there were plenty of questions. The big one, the clutch, we thought was adequately resolved. While it was very, very worn, some maintenance had rendered it drivable, despite adjustments extending to the day we were scheduled to depart. I guess in the end, it depends on your risk tolerance. My mechanic suggested he'd probably be okay driving it to Chicago. He just would try not to stop very many times. We'd experienced some anomalies with the brakes that we had theories about, but we hadn't completely sorted their situation, and we hadn't identified the steering challenges. Looking back, to be honest, we hadn't done an adequate shakedown. Our highway miles were too few, and they didn't uncover everything. We left Yakima with Calvin, our mechanic, following in case of problems. Not a significant vote of confidence. Out of the gate, my shifting was poor. Nerves? Maybe. Or was it the clutch? After a while, I noticed that while I could generally get comfortable steering, sometimes Horton would get a mind of his own. I would be all over the steering wheel for a minute or two, then things would get settled in and back to normal. This persisted. Finally, I pulled over and the mechanic checked out the steering. He saw a weird behavior with the spring, but we didn't really know if it was normal. We decided to continue on. Then the brake stuck. We had had this great hill climb in fourth gear, but then the mechanic called to suggest I let off the brake. I said, I haven't touched the brake yet. Well, we dealt with the stuck brake and tweaked the clutch. We finally got going again. The mechanic peeled away and headed back to Yakima. Then we headed up a hill, and I just wasn't confident about it. But I sure did pull over to a nice view of the Columbia River. I turned off the live stream. Horton's clutch refused to shift into first gear from a stop. I think that's when I decided we were headed back to Yakima. It wasn't a question of if. It was a question of where to turn around. After another adjustment, we headed back. Of course, Horton's clutch cooperated all the way back. Calvin wanted to know if I was sure I didn't want to keep going. This is when I explained I had a written plan for day one, courtesy of my work with Claude, back before Claude was a national security threat. If there were hints of mechanical problems at Moses Lake, Horton was supposed to go back to Yakima. We didn't make it to Moses Lake. It's pretty heartbreaking turning around. Countless hours went into planning the departure, and we had a whole flock of livestream viewers watching. But those same livestream viewers were enduring some fairly difficult video challenges that we're still investigating. And everyone involved wants us to make it safely. Heading out on a big trip with mechanical concerns isn't really consistent with good risk management. So here we are. Since returning to Yakima, we've taken some time to finish onboard work that didn't get done before the trip. Specifically, I'm determined to have a working fridge when we finally depart again, because warm soda on the hot shoulder of the road just didn't cut it. We have the clutch out for a rebuild, we're looking for tie rod ends, and we have a new DD3 brake chamber in the mail. We've delayed departure at least 3 weeks, probably more. We're also working on a plan that doesn't impose an artificial schedule on a 62-year-old bus. And we're considering the implications of no air conditioning amid late summer weather across the upper Midwest. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, and before you know it, we'll be on the road and the live stream again. Maybe by then we'll have the live stream picture issues figured out as well.